IAE 2955 has begun. It's arrived. It's here. And along with it, SIG's biggest money-making event of the year. Let's hope for some decent discounts for the rest of this event. First things first, the referral reward for this year's IAE is exactly what you see on screen. The person that you recruit gets a redonkulous outfit and a little pistol, and you get, by some accounts, very prized Dragonfly, which is Star Kitten themed. To each their own, I suppose, but there you go. But the little rub here is, guess what? It's only 10 years of insurance. It's not an LTI. So keep that in mind if you're using, secondary accounts to grab a referral reward. This is only 10 year. Yeah, they're messing things up. But, oh well. Let's get to the first round of Warbond CCUs. First up, starting with the cheapest ship we have for a Warbond discount today is the Shiv, still available in the store. We've got 2 or 3 choices and one no bueno. You've got the 350R, the Raft, and the Spirit C1 here. The Hornet Mark 1, remember Mark 1 are no bueno. Do not do these unless you already have it. If you don't know what that means, you shouldn't be ever getting the Hornet Mark 1 over here on the left because they can't be made over here on the right. They took them out of the store, guys, so you can't get a CCU from something to the Mark 1. Never use the Mark 1s. Mark 2 is okay, just not the Mark 1s, okay? So out of the 3 choices, you got the 350R, the Raft, and the C1. I'm going to call it now. The C1 is the most likely choice, and I'm going to show you why by jumping over to the CCU game. Here's the CCU game app. If you don't know what that website is, it's ccugame.app. It has most of the previous ship prices, Warbond discounts, etc. listed that have happened since, 2019 or so. It's got really good data. Before that, it's a little iffy. But anyway, as you can see here over on the right, the Spirit C1 has had tons of Warbond discounts available for the CCU game. We've got the Raft. It has had a few, right? Looked like 3 or so, maybe more on release or something. But it would be a good second choice. And then the 350R has had just one recently in 2023. So this is probably the least best choice. So still going with the C1 on this. After the Shiv, we have the Meteor. So this is a $20 discount for the Warbond. And really the best choice here to get the biggest discount is going to be the Cutlass Steel. I suppose you could spend $5 more and go with the Antares, but the Cutlass Steel has had more Warbonds available to it, and it's less money. It's only a $5 price point here. So let's jump over to the CCU game to show you what I mean. So we got the Cutlass Steel here, and you can see it's had 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 total Warbonds. There might be some missing information here. And then we jump to the Antares, and it's only had 3, just 2, and it hasn't had one this year yet, whereas the Steel has. So Steel makes a more often Warbond choice for this one. So that's the one I'm going to go with here. I'm going to pick the Steel. If you have some other special use case for the Scorpius Antares for some reason, okay, you can use that. But I'm going to recommend the Steel, especially for folks that are just joining the CCU game today or this year. Next up, we have the Stinger. This is a $25 discount here. And we have the Vanguard Sentinel and the Asperia Blade. I think I went through this one last time, but the reality is, at this point, since neither of them have had one this year, I think only the Sentinel had one last year, these are becoming more and more rare. And as they add more ships to the game, it seems like they're trying to give the newer ships Warbonds rather than some of the older ones. And then we get a lot of reoccurring ones like the Mole. At this price point, it looks as though neither of these have hit last year or this year. Or only one hit last year, I think the Vanguard. In fact, let's go to the CCU game. So Vanguard had one in 2024. And a couple more in the past. But nothing since February of last year. So this has been quite a dry spell. The Blade had one in 2023. Maybe it had one since then. But again, 2 versus 3, even padding it for maybe some missing information here, 3 or 4 total for each of them ever, and nothing this year, or quite some time actually, right? So yeah, it's a tough one because they haven't come back yet. 275. What could be 275? I mean, the triage is 260. That's probably not going to increase in price anytime soon. The MSR, Guardian, none of these are going to be good options to even guess on, right? Yeah, you're really stuck with one of these two, quite frankly. It's really a wash between these two at this point in the game, because neither of them have come around for so long. So I'll leave that one up to you. If you already have it in your chain, obviously use it. If you're brand new to the game, there's a slightly higher chance that the Sentinel will come around, but it's ever so slight. So I'd probably barely lean towards a Sentinel on this one. And again, that's a $15 Warbond for a $25 discount. Next up is the Paladin, which has quickly become a favorite of quite a few people here. This is a $25 discount as well. And 2 choices, 2 pretty good choices, but one outweighs the other. The Mole is the choice here because it comes around extremely often. Jumping to the CCU game, you can see the Aquila, sure, it's had a few, 3 or 4, and relatively stacked recently, 2023 through 2024. Nothing this year, but you jump to the Mole and it's like basically twice a year since forever. I think there was more down here in 2020 and 2021 as well. It just happens to hit all the time. It seems pretty consistent, so I would go with the Mole on this one. This is probably the easiest one to go with for the Paladin. So there you go. Last but not least, we have the Perseus. Now, this ship jumped $125 now that it's been released, so keep that in mind. Hopefully it didn't mess up anybody's Warbond CCU chain if they were going beyond the Perseus, but I have a feeling anybody who had this one was probably sticking with it. So hopefully it didn't mess it up, and hopefully you got some more value out of it because you already purchased last time. What was it? Oh boy, it was Invictus Day 12 of this year, I believe. The Warbond that was a $55 discount. Let's see what this one is. Oh boy, this one's a $100 discount. So the other one was $620 to $675, which is a $50 discount. This is from $700 to $800, so it's a $100 discount. That's a pretty good discount, right? We'll take that. The Bandu Merchantman, the Orion, and the Carrack are the options. So it's still going to be a $100 upcharge, whereas $100 versus last time it was what, $20? So now this is a perfect example of why they're getting rid of the concept Warbond pricing of ships, and they're going to just start releasing ships straight to us instead of doing concepts, because they're technically losing a little bit of money on each one of them if they raise the prices, etc., like we've kind of been watching over the past couple years. So just to do a quick comparison, last May during Invictus, you could have purchased this exact same upgrade for $20. It was a $600 Carrack to a $675 Perseus Warbond for $20, an actual $20 fee. And now it's $100 with the exact same upgrade. And like to get through this, you're probably going to have to do something like this for the best price. As long as you can get to the Merchantman, and that actually gives you another discount, a little bit less spend if you can get there, then I would recommend doing this, because $100. I mean, it's a 1-to-1, right? So $100 discount and $100 spend. Technically, that meets our criteria, but you're still spending $100. So anybody who wants the Perseus, I really hope you got the previous Carrack to Perseus $20 Warbond, because this one is way worse. In fact, the next best deal would be to go to the Merchantman. and that's still $50. It's more than double the previous Warbond price. I mean, this is to be anticipated. This is why we try and get whatever Warbonds we can early, especially if it's a concept Warbond, which again, we're probably going to see less and less of as they're going to be releasing ships directly to us instead of having a long drawn out concept phase. And realistically, I see the Merchantman being almost on parity with price eventually. So if you're going to keep this one, if you're going to do this for the long haul and just hold it in your hangar and not apply it, this one's going to be, it could be an inverse relationship. You may be paying $50 for a $0 discount, or even a negative one, based on what we've seen from the Merchantman. Because it's going to be, another 2 years before the Merchantman comes out. It's not on the pipeline anymore. It hasn't been. They haven't discussed it. Who knows? The Orion might be closer, and I don't know. It's going to be an industrial and mining. Sorry, I meant heavy mining. So who knows what this one can go up to? Maybe 850, maybe just 800. I don't know. Right? So the Perseus went from 675 to 8. So this is less. So maybe this will be 775 at the minimum. That makes sense. I see the Merchantman going for 775 to 850. That makes sense. Alien tax, right? Alien tax gets added on to every incremental price increase for the Merchantman, apparently. And then these are all special editions. You don't want to use these in a Warbond CCU chain or in a CCU chain at all, for that matter. So, yeah, really the Carrack is the next best bet, especially if you're going to hold on to this for a while. Obviously, there's probably not going to be another price increase for the Perseus, so you're just locked in at 100. So, yeah, this one kind of hurts looking at this one based on what we saw earlier this year. But it is kind of to be expected. This generally happens when a ship is released from concept into the verse. So I don't know if this is validation of what we're all kind of anticipating with the CCU game, especially the Warbond CCU game, or not. But it looks like the Salvation launched today, brand new ship. Nobody's even probably talking about it very much. $60, no Warbond CCU, brand new ship, right? But there's a Warbond game pack, and this is a small salvage ship, right? Very small, it looks like. But there is a Warbond with bonus items for a starter pack and standalone Warbond, $5 discount. So it looks like at the $60 price point, we've now validated that they're no longer going to be giving us those Warbonds. We're not going to get Warbond CCUs below this. That is the threshold so far. Because this is an obvious win. They could have done a $5 discount here. We could have used it in the CCU chain. This is a missed opportunity. I would have spent $5 here, 100%. So looking through the product stack, when was the last one that we saw, right? Intrepid didn't get one. Sulin didn't get one. The Hull A, I don't know if the Hull A got one. Maybe the Hull A got one. The Wolf didn't get one. So we're up at $100. I think the Cuddy Black, or the Freelancer, at 110 was the last, and I'm using air quotes, low dollar Warbond CCU we got. The Wolf, let's see here. Yeah, the Sulin, nope, standalone price history, nothing at the CCU. The Wolf, nothing in CCUs. Or there might have been a standalone, but yeah, nothing here. I'm almost certain there was a standalone discount. Maybe I'm hallucinating, but yeah, nothing here. So that's kind of frustrating. We now know they verified with this ship, the new Salvation, that at least at $60 we're not going to be seeing any Warbonds. So buy your starter ship or buy the starter ship for your CCU chains, or look at your referral rewards as a starting point, but expect a gap from whatever cost that ship is, whether you buy something like the Salvation for a $5 discount on the standalone right here, and you start at $55, start off with the $5 discount, or if you're going to use something like your referral reward Pulse or something like that. Just expect some gaps to be filled for the CCU piece of it until you get to at least the at least the 110 range. If you have a Cuddy Black one, or if you have the Freelancer, that's seems to be the threshold, guys. I don't know if we're ever going to see something lower than that. It'd be awesome if they surprised us and maybe tomorrow did a Warbond for the brand new smallest salvage ship that they have in the game. That would be cool. But right now, not looking promising sub 110. So keep that in mind for your CCU chains. So jumping back to the rest of the game packs available today, if you're looking at actually starting an account and joining the verse with one of these game packs, because you do need a game pack to actually join the game. Obviously, it's a free fly right now, and you don't need to do that. But if at the end of IAE you decide, what the hell, this is a great game, I'm jumping in, I'm still going to recommend, unless you have a very specific niche in mind, like salvage, and again, I don't know that this would be the game pack you would want for salvage, or mining, and I'm not sure that this is a game pack you would want for mining, right? I'm still going to be recommending either this ship right here, which is the Titan, or this ship right here, which is the Cuddy Black. Neither of them are war bonded, but I think those are probably the best ways to get into the game. So if you're doing a price comparison, though, this $63 and change, $64 buck, I think this would be cheaper to get into the game. And then I suppose from there you could CCU this ship to something else, or the Titan. So again, if you're trying to get into the game, I would probably go with something. Let's see, what does this offer? So because this offers LTI, that's a great way to start the game, at least for your main game pack ship. That's what I recommend. I don't necessarily care about a clothing pack or some additional paints, but those are some additional freebies for you. And whatever else, this other stuff is a little bit of cash, 40,000 EUC. I think to get a discount, assuming you're not going to keep this ship, assuming you are going to CCU it to something else, I would probably go with this one today. But if you don't care about the discount and you just want to start off with one ship and call it a day that way, I would go with the Titan or the Cuddy Black. Those are exceptional ships as far as this list goes. Before covering the rest of the store, I wanted to add this piece about speculation because it is important for a couple ships that are going to see a price increase. So let's get to that. Okay, something else I definitely wanted to bring up. They made this clear in a Spectrum post that they are going to increase the price of 4 very specific ships, and this will be the last time available at the current pricing, which means if there's any sale events from December 4th on through the rest of the year, these ship prices will obviously be more, right? I think it's interesting that they're increasing the price of the Raft Hull B and Hull A. That seems strange to me, and I don't understand why they're letting us know about the Raylan. The Raylan is a concept ship. It will obviously increase in price. So I don't know if something's going to be going on here with shipping, with hauling, or what. But it just seems odd that they're raising the prices on some and letting us know about the Raylan. The Raylan is an obvious price increase whenever it gets to release. So maybe they're saying, hey, before the Raylan releases, it's going to increase in price. This also means, I guess, that they're not going to release it, the Raylan, during IAE, right? I think somebody speculated, I've seen some speculation that the Raylan might get released this year during IAE, but this pretty much confirms because they're saying after this event, the Raylan price will increase. And that would be counterintuitive if they were going to release it, because upon release, every concept ship increases in price. So again, Raylan pretty much confirmed now it's not going to be released for IAE, which would have been a surprise anyway, but also that it will increase in price. But we already knew that, so this seems odd, but I'm glad they're letting us know, right? So if you want to build any of these into your chains, you could buy a non-Warbond CCU to any of these ships at this point, And well, when they're made available. I don't think all of them are going to be made available right now. I think only the raft is available right now, maybe the whole B. I'll go back and check in a second. But when they become available throughout this IAE event, you can grab a non-Warbond CCU to them, hopefully for $5. I'll go through the list in a minute, and we'll see if that can fit into your chains in a speculative manner, right? Obviously, if you do this as a non-Warbond, you don't know where it's going to end up in price. So, but you know it's going to be more than where it's at now, so you're going to instantly gain some dollar amount, at least $5 in value, if you buy a non-Warbond CCU for any of them. So again, each one of these days you're going to be looking for one of these ships to pop up, or you can just wait till the end. They're all going to be available. Again, assuming non-Warbond pricing here. If one of them hits for a Warbond, it's even a better deal, Warbond CCU rather. So keep that in mind as well. It's like double the discount. So let's jump to the CCU store and let's look. Let's see if the raft is available. Kill that. Is the raft available today? Really, the raft's not available. Any of the whole series? So the whole A is available today. Okay, so you could go in right now and grab a Herald to Hull A right now for $5, store credit even, and you're going to gain at least $5, right? Because a Hull A will go at least to $95. They're saying it's a price increase. They always do $5 increases or more, $5 increments, I suppose. You're not going to find an $87 ship out there, for instance, unless it's some weird discount in a starter pack. So this is a perfect example of how you could speculate. Hey, I think the Hull A is going to go to $100 or 110. I'm thinking 100. 100 seems a lot for a Hull A, quite frankly. But who knows? This is new territory where we've got released ships, all long haulers, by the way, increasing in price. So that's the only hull that's available. The Raylan's not available for sure. So you can't buy any more. So you'll have to pay attention to the schedule and see. So on the 23rd and 24th, the Raylan will be in the store and available. The next day, the rest of the whole series will be available, 24th and 25th. That's when you should look at each of those vehicles. And then where is Argo? There's Argo. On the 26th and 27th, look for Argo being in the store, the raft, and check out. The prices should be standard pricing today, but on the 4th, most likely, or whenever the ships get back into the store and are made available, probably sometime around Christmas sale, those prices will increase. So if you want to build those into a speculative CCU chain or link in the chain, then look at buying one of those non-Warbond CCUs during that time. So Hull B is 140. So what's at the 140 level? So at the 140 level, you're going to be looking at a Freelancer Dur Cuddy Red. Cutlass Red had one last year, 1 year before. And the Dur is not a good one. I think it's not had any ever. So if they revamp the Freelancer series, you might get a chance of the Warbond. But if that happens, this price will also increase. So, yeah, you're going to have to go with the Cuddy Red on that one. If you're going with the Hull B, I would upgrade from the Cuddy Red to the Hull B. That's your best bet for a speculation on the price increase of the Hull B. Raylan's 225. Ooh, we've got the Defender right at 220, right? So we've got a bunch at 220. I forgot about all the others there. So yeah, if you have a Terrapin Medic already, or a Terrapin from when they had the CCU sales earlier this year or last year? Oh gosh, I don't remember. I would just grab, as soon as this Raylan becomes available over here this next week, I would grab if I already had a Terrapin Medic Warbond or a Terrapin Warbond or a Defender Warbond, I would grab one of those to the Raylan. So whichever one you have. If you don't have any, you're making this rough on me. I would go with the Terrapin, standard Terrapin. Let's go look though. Standard Terrapin really had a banner year this year, one last year, couple before. That's a good choice. Terrapin Medic, not a great choice, probably. Time will tell. We'll see. Defender has had less than the Terrapin, I think. One this year. It's not bad, but I still think the Terrapin kind of outweighs it. So I would go with Terrapin, then Defender, then Terrapin Medic, unless you already have one. If you already have one, then you know your choice already. Why are you listening to me? But that's what I would recommend for the Raylan. What else do we have? Raft? I didn't do the Raft yet. So Raft is 125. Raft at 125 is going to be like the Gladius or something, right? Centurion 125, Talon, Nova, Legionnaire 350R. Oh, so it's 125. Don't do the Legionnaire. You could do the Nova. You could do either one of the Talons. Nova is the biggest discount, right? That's going to get you the most value. Gosh, I just don't know how you're going to get to the Nova. Maybe Cuddy Black would get another discount, get a discount there, or the Freelancer, and then go to the Talon or Nova. Nova's going to cost you the least amount, though, so that's what I would grab. I would grab a Nova to Raft, non-Warbond, when the Raft becomes available on November 26th. That's how I'd play that if I wanted to speculate. So there are quite a few concept and Warbond pricing standalone ships in the store. If that's how you want to spend your money, you can go ahead and look through all the pages, everything from the Arastra, from RSI, to some of the things that were recently released, like the Stinger, have Warbonds. So go ahead and check those out if you want. Any of the RSI ships that are concepts will be added today. If you look back at this diagram here, you can see each day we'll have concept ships available for each of the ship manufacturers on that day added to the store. They are limited time sales. I don't know if they will be removed or if they'll just accumulate over time for the concept ships. I don't know. Warbond should change every day, though. There is one interesting thing here in the gear section. I think a lot of people have seen some screenshots of this particular armor set. This is the Dust Devil armor set. It's like a blue with gold trim. I think it looks pretty good. Not really into buying skins like that, but I think it looks pretty cool. So if you're into that, maybe check that out as well. There is one for the Aves armor as well, so that's available on the store. No ship packs. Add-ons for Galaxy are here. Interesting enough, they are very expensive. My guess is I'm going to buy those in-game based on these pricing schedules. That's kind of crazy. And realistically, I don't know which one I'm probably going to use most. Probably going to be cargo or something. I don't know. But anyway, we'll see. Maybe they'll include them with the Galaxy on launch like they did with the medical ships that just came out. Who knows? It looks like it's going to be a slow start to this year's IAE, folks. Here's hoping the rest of the days bring us some deeper discounts, preferably without any additional price increases. That's it for this one. Zi-Tek, out.